Hey David, Mark Baker here. So I got your videos and your notes. I really like looking at your videos. So you're doing a lot of things right. I think we can just work on your timing a little bit and get that release a little more consistent. With that being said, let's get straight to the videos. Okay, David, here I have you queued up from the back. Let's go ahead and take a look. The first shot's always a little choppy, like that. So let this run through again. And the thing I was noticing the most is you have unbelievably good footwork. So whatever you do, I wouldn't change that. So what I mean by footwork is I look at your steps. First step's nice. See, I like that crossover. I am not a big fan of the crossover. So I like that your step just goes a little bit in to out. Gives your, you have a chance for your swing to clear your hip. What I really like is this step. This is the step I think is the most important now in bowling besides the pivot step. That step's got to go a little bit away, your third step, if you take 5. That allows that pivot step. Look how beautiful the setup is here. Your pivot step is on the inside of your head. So now if you look at your ball from the middle of the ball through your forearm, through your shoulder, it's aiming at 6, 7, 8 down lane. I think that's just excellent. Your slide gets pretty close back to where it started. The only thing I want to work on is where you turn it. This one you see you got your hand rotated. There's 2 places to turn a ball. You can turn the ball at your heel or you can turn the ball at your toe. What happens is where you turn it depends how much control you have of the core. The core is what makes the ball shape down lane, and the core is what knocks the pins over. So I'm a big believer of sequencing. When you add the rotation, the forearm's momentum and the hand is the rotation. The momentum has to hit the target, your forearm, and then you add the turn later. So right here, in my eyes, you're starting to add the rotation before the end of your toe. So the core is not going to read on the back end as hard as you want. You get through it. See, that ball kind of goes more down than out. I'm not big on balls landing this close to the foul line. I like 12 inches to 20 inches out. That makes your hand stay behind it longer. And then that lets that core for you, the core would be on the left side longer. The closer the ball lays down to the foul line from the bowler, the only way that can physically happen for the most part is if your hand gets up on top. So if your hand rotates on top, that shifts the core to the wrong side off your hand. So your core is going to lay down besides the spot where you want it to. Now, I can't tell where the ball went. Probably online, maybe a little bit inside. But from a footwork standpoint, from the back, why I want videos from the back, David, is to look at footwork and swing plane. Obviously, this video wasn't the first time you stepped foot inside a bowling center. You've been doing this pretty well for a long time, I can tell. You've got really good footwork. Probably the best part about your game is how nice the rhythm and how you get there. There are some really good things going on there. So we're not going to mess with your footwork at all. What I do want to do is look at your timing from the side. Here we go. Let me cue this up. So I measure timing. There's 2 things we're looking at, timing and release point. Here's how you measure. Timing, you measure when your slide foot gets flat in front of your head. Your swing should be parallel. Right there is your timing spot. Your foot's not quite there yet. You're starting your slide, so right there. So you're about a ball early. But here's what happens. When people have early timing, and it's not too bad, what happens is the release points caused by when you get to the timing spot, you measure spine tilt. So here is your spine tilt going into your slide. It's anything between 28 and 48 I like. So it's 33 degrees, and it's just a line I draw as best I can from your ear through your hip. It's not exact. The key is I don't want that to change more than 5 degrees between there and the end of your fall through, into your release. So as you can see there, now the ball's coming off your hand. If I can, I cheat, that's being mean, I guess. Let's be honest, about right there. So now if we draw those same lines, here is the issue. Here's where I think we can improve your game a little bit. There. So you've gone from 33 degrees. That's not fair. This line's got to be a little higher. There you go. For some reason. There we go. There we go. That's better. Well, so 33 to 52 degrees is what you change your spine tilt from your timing spot to your release point. That can be an issue. What that does is it's not wrong. But let's say, 19, 20 degrees is your normal drop. As long as you do that every time, you can be pretty consistent release-wise. The problem is, if one shot has 15 degrees or 12 degrees of drop, you're going to stay behind that ball. That ball is going to be much more online, have more hook on the back. If that happens to have 25 degrees of tilt and you really go down and step off to your left, That means your hand's going to be way on top of the ball. That ball's going to read early and be inside your target. Your spine tilt controls your release, and your release controls the core. So how your spine tilt works really has an effect of your sequencing. So how are we going to get that better? So if we go back here in the beginning of your approach, what I'd like you to do, see right here? I love this first step. Your head is on top of your foot. So what I want here is the same thing. See how your head is a little bit behind it and you got that knee flex? I'm not a big believer in the knee flex. I like your legs to stay tall. So there we go. Move this over a little bit. Just kind of get the center of your head. So you're a whole head behind your foot. I would like your second step to be a little taller, a little shorter. The reason why, when you bend down in the second step and drop, see that makes your shoulder drop. The ball swings off your shoulder. So something has to stay stable. Your left leg being straight stabilizes your shoulder. If your shoulder's stable, the ball swings back smooth. Once you unstabilize their shoulder, the ball really doesn't want to swing. You create a backswing, and that makes it go up fast. And invariably, people tend to have a big pivot step. They lunge, try to get back under the body, and they get a little early right here. That's kind of your early timing spot. How do I know people are early? Instead of this being the complete power source, you get an early weight transfer onto your right leg. That shoves your head forward. And more importantly, right there, as you can tell, now your breastplate is not facing the break point. Shots that you throw good feel easy for a reason. Your brain is where the ball wants to go. Your breastplate's where the ball's gonna go. But when your breastplate and your brain match up, that's when the hand feels easy. That's when the release comes off. You're super consistent. Those are the nights you bowl really good. Now your breastplate for you is probably aiming close to the 3-pin. So your hand all of a sudden has to add direction onto rotation. Your hand's just responsible for the last 15 feet of the lane. Once your breastplate and your brain don't match up, now your hand has to jump in the middle of this release and try to create some direction. That's not the hand's job. The swing creates direction. Your lateral spine tilt creates direction. Your timing, not your hand. So we've got to get that head to stay up higher, and the only way you can do that is with timing. So you're a little bit down there. That's your timing spot. You're about a ball and a half early. So right there, that back leg's not pushy. That back leg doesn't push up underneath you. It stays back. So when the back leg goes up and your head goes down, then your body goes in front, kind of like a teeter-totter. And then I see your hand kind of look like that. Elbows out a little bit. I tend to know those either have too much rotation or they miss a little bit inside your target down lane. So that's really what I want you to work on, is a taller second step, a little bit shorter. So when you walk by it, see that little bend right there? That's that shoulder dropping. So this gets quick right here. Then you have to run underneath it, and you get a little early. So I would really work on a taller second step, smoother downswing. So when you get to the timing spot, that ball can be there when your foot's there. So that's about 2 balls in timing. If that happens, your spine tilt can stay there. You're going to add rotation later. You'll probably stay a little taller, increase your launch angle, but you'll see 2 things happen. Your accuracy will go up, and the consistency of your ball coming off the spot down lane will get much better. David, really enjoyed looking at your videos. Look forward to the next set. I'll talk to you soon.